Since the birth of the first great civilizations, there have been a variety of secret societies, from political organizations to college fraternities to religious cults. Members, who included presidents, philosophers, artists, and even astronauts, normally conducted their business in private, keeping their activities, and occasionally their identities, from the public. Others donned coded attire or jewelry, while others used secret handshakes and symbols. They have reshaped societies, overthrown governments, impacted writers and artists, and altered how people view God. They are still present. What precisely did they do in the darkness? What is the purpose of their enigmatic rituals? Here are some of history's most secrecy-prone societies' actual histories. Delphic Oracle. When a Greek citizen had a pressing matter, they could consult an oracle to get the gods' advice. And there was no more revered oracle than the one at Delphi. At its height of power between the 8th and 6th centuries BC, this enormous temple to the god Apollo stood at the center of the Delphi sanctuary, which was used as a site of worship most days. But for 9 days each year, a special medium known as the Pythia received a small number of guests, turning the temple into an oracle, who had made a sizable donation for the privilege. Pythia, a native of Delphi who was often a young woman, would take a bath and drink from the Cassotis fountain on the designated day. She then proceeded to the temple's Ataton, or inner sanctum, to claim her position. The oracle never actually spoke. Instead, she went into a trance that was allegedly triggered by enigmatic vapors, according to the Greek historian Plutarch, writhing and convulsing while making odd noises and cries. When the priests translated these statements and came up with an answer, it gave them a lot of influence, especially when the subject concerned crucial political issues. Mithraic cult. The Indian-Persian deity Mithra or Mithras, who was thought to have been created from a rock, served as the inspiration for the Mithraic mysteries, a secret society that flourished throughout the Roman Empire in the 1st century AD. As a god who resembled a rescuer, Mithras was sometimes depicted sacrificing an animal or dining with Sol, the sun god. Although little is known about the inner workings of this secretive cult, it is clear that its main goals were to celebrate combat, triumph over evil, and find salvation. Before becoming fully vested members, or syndexioi, sealed by a handshake, all applicants had to successfully complete 7 difficult steps of initiation, which included making animal sacrifices. For a supper of bread and wine and to perform private rituals in front of an effigy of the god slaughtering a bull, up to 30 worshippers gathered in a mithraeum. About 45 of at least 680 have been uncovered by archaeologists alone in Rome. In its prime, the cult posed a serious threat to Christianity, another religion that was expanding quickly. In fact, early Christians actually persecuted them, and by the end of the 4th century, the society had been put under control. The Templar Knights. Only the First Crusade, which captured Jerusalem in 1099 and massacred the majority of its Jewish and Muslim residents who attempted to defend the city, out of the 7 great crusades made to liberate the Holy Land from Muslim dominion, produced substantial results. Several military religious groups devoted to holding and defending the Holy Land were founded as a result of the Crusader movement, with the Knights Templar being the most well-known. The Templars, who were founded about 1119 when Baldwin II, the king of Jerusalem at the time, ordered a detachment of knights to guard all Christian pilgrims visiting the Holy Land, were easily identifiable by their white gowns bearing a red cross. They gained particular proficiency in money, quickly rose to prominence among knightly orders, and are even credited with creating a new financial system. The Knights Templar never stated a new goal after the Crusaders were driven from the Holy Land and forced to escape to Cyprus during the Siege of Acre in 1291. King Philip IV of France, who owed the order a great deal, took advantage of its chaos and reputation for secrecy to arrest the majority of the Templar leadership in France. The mystery surrounding the Knights Templar was only heightened by the fact that a number of them were falsely accused and then burnt at the stake. Although it was formally disbanded in 1307, its reputation endures. Today, other secret societies in France, Germany, and Italy, including the Association Française des Chevaliers du Christ, which has Vatican patronage, claim to be descended from the Knights Templar. The rebuilding of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was the Crusaders' first goal. The basilica commemorating Golgotha and the rotunda above Christ's tomb were once again combined into one building in the new design, while two domes still denote these areas from the exterior. A bell tower was additionally constructed. This is the church that visitors to Jerusalem's Old City see today, taking into account different additions and restorations. The Masonic Order. The Freemasons, who are distinguished by their white aprons, coded handshakes, and enigmatic symbols, are said to have assisted in planning Washington, D.C.'s layout as well as the American and French revolutions. Members have included George Washington, Voltaire, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Harry Houdini, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, Gerald Ford, and Buzz Aldrin. There are chapters all around the world. Although the history of this strange group is obscure, it is thought to have started in Europe during the Middle Ages. Early members were a guild of skilled masons or stonemasons who, in contrast to most other commoners, had the means to travel to many towns and regions, giving these artisans a distinctive and liberal worldview that transcended local conventions. As they explored Enlightenment-based Western philosophical and intellectual concepts, such as anti-monarchism, constitutional government, and republicanism, the Freemasons gradually downplayed stonemasonry. Freemasonry defined a new set of ethical and spiritual principles as a non-religious, non-political organization. Members were promoted steadily through the ranks, using the stonemasonry industry as a model, rising from apprentices to journeymen to master masons through a series of ceremonies and rituals. With numerous member units around the globe committed to philanthropy and other good deeds, the Freemasons are still a thriving organization today. George Washington, who held the position of Grand Master of a lodge in Virginia, was one of the Masonic leaders of the newly freed American colonies. But John Moore, a port officer, formed the first Masonic lodge in Pennsylvania in 1715. Some wanted to combine all state lodges into a single American Grand Lodge, to be headed by Washington after the War of Independence, but this effort failed. The Masonic movement is primarily structured by state nowadays. The Hongmen and Tiandihui. The Tiandihui, also known as the Society of the Heaven and the Earth, was founded in Fujian Province during the turbulent 18th century in China as a spiritual cult under the direction of charismatic leaders. The Qing government forced them into hiding, where they developed into a fierce resistance movement against the Qing Manchu authorities. To keep their finances stable, they turned to armed robbery. Other societies, including the Hongmen or Hongmen, a Masonic-inspired group, were influenced by the Tiandihui. Members included General Chiang Kai-shek, who founded Taiwan, and Sun Yat-sen, who founded the First Republic in China. While some adhered to the Tiandihui ideals of loyalty, patriotism, and justice, others became criminals as a result of the Tiandihui culture of Robin Hood-style heists. The most well-known of these is an organization called the Triads, which is currently one of the biggest Asian criminal organizations in the world. This is all for today. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon for more videos. Stay tuned with AWZ.